So I have prepared the quilt sandwich for my table runner here. So then today we're going to quilt it on my just regular sewing machine, my home sewing machine. So there's a few things that we'll need to do to prepare the sewing machine for free motion quilting. Okay, I'm at the back of my machine. I've taken the table off. Now down here, this is where the feed dog lever is for my machine. So right now the feed dogs are up. You can tell right here, if you want to watch as I move the lever, I push it, it's a little stiff, but push it all the way, you can see that the feed dogs drop. So this just means that you can move freely across this surface right here with your quilt as you're doing free motion quilting, and the feed dogs will not be moving up and down in the way of moving the quilt back and forth. So I'll put the table back on and we'll make a few more adjustments. The next thing I need to do is to change my stitch length to 0. Alright, the next step is we need to put on a quilting foot. So I have this quilting foot here. I will just take my little screwdriver and unscrew this screw. Now all machines are going to be different in how they work and things are assembled, but just refer to your user's manual to determine that. So I'm just going to remove this foot right here, and then I'll add this one on. I just like to put my thread down through the hole, just like that. And so there you have your quilting foot. It does not touch the bottom. It leaves room for you to move your quilt back and forth. Okay, one last thing to prepare to quilt is to get some quilting gloves. I find these really handy. They just have these grippies that you can grab the fabric more easily, and it's a little less strain when you have a good grip on your fabric. So if you don't have quilting gloves, that's okay. Especially with this small of a project, you'll be fine. Another thing that you could use is gardening gloves that have these grippies on them. So just maybe a clean pair of a new pair of gardening gloves would work good. So I'm just going to take my quilt here, and I'm going to work from this side to this side just because it's shorter, and then I won't have to be rolling up my quilt. And I recently did a quilt using this method that I really liked how it turned out, and it was easy. I am fairly new to free motion quilting, so if you have tips, let me know, but this is kind of just what I've learned the last little bit. So I'm just going to take this line right here and kind of work with that as my base. So I'm going to remove the pins from that area first of all, so I can just work as I'm going without having to move pins. Okay, so I'm just going to start on the edge. One thing that's nice about smaller quilts is you can just start on the end. You don't have to worry about bringing up your bobbin thread and all that. You just start on the edge, and then you just cut off all your tails when you trim your quilt. So I'm just gonna take this. I'm gonna just start right here, and what I'm doing is I'm going to be making swirls. So I'm just gonna take, maybe I'll show you with my finger here. I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna make a loop, and I'm gonna make them varying sizes. So I'm gonna do a big one and then a small one, and then a big one and then a small one. So the way that I've heard it explained before is L's and E's. Mine never look like cursive L's and E's. They're more round, but the concept is similar. So I'm just going to put my foot down, and I'm just going to turn on my machine, I guess. That would help. I'm just going to take right here, and I'm just going to use this kind of as my lower end of my foot. Now, as I get onto the edge, I want to make sure that I get my fabric underneath that. That is the one thing that you'll need to do when you're starting off of the quilt. So there's my little E. There's my L. So I'm just going to repeat this process, making E's and L's or small loops and big loops, and just use this line is going to be kind of the bottom of my loops. And I kind of pause at the bottom of each loop so I can readjust if I need to. And you can tell that they're not all perfect. My stitch length, I'm still working on the speed of the machine and the moving of your quilt, but that comes with time. So I'm sure I will improve with that over time. And I'm not exactly, I'm a little bit off of the line, and it doesn't matter. Like, it's fine. It will all be fine in the end. And then as I get to the end, I'm just going to go off of the quilt when I get there. Just clip my threads, and I'm going to start over here on the end again. Now you could go backwards. I am not confident in going other directions, so I just start at the beginning again, and I'm just going to come down a little ways, and I'm going to just do that same process. The only difference is I won't have a line to go by, so I just kind of have to watch and try to keep myself going straight. But if I'm a little bit crooked, then it will be okay. Now, one thing, I started with a big loop and then a small loop this time, but I'm not probably going to get them all exactly the same width, so it's not going to matter too much, but that's just kind of something you could do. All right, remove that pin, and I'll just keep going and doing the same process all the way down here, and then I will start moving my way upward. Okay, so I have finished down to the end here, so I'm just going to go up, and I will just start working my way upwards. So just doing the same process, but I will just work my way upwards. I've got to almost the end here. I have another row, maybe two. We'll see how it goes. So we'll just finish this off. Okay, so I'm gonna go maybe a little slower on this because I do have a little bit on this end I'd like to catch, but I'm gonna be going off and on of the fabric as I go to catch this. So I'm just gonna go a little bit slower and just try to get this edge quilted down. Okay, so I have the quilting done. I really like this method. It's very forgiving. It doesn't matter if you're super precise on your big and small loops. It just looks kind of organic, and it's really easy to do. So The next thing to do is to trim off the extra backing and batting. So I'm just going to get a straight edge ruler and my rotary cutter, and I am just going to line up the ruler with the edge of the table runner and then just slice off the end. So when we go this way, we're going to kind of have to work in sections. So I'm just going to line up the ruler again and trim off the edge and just go as far as I can. Now you'll see that my edge isn't perfect, but my binding will cover up that. So we'll just move this down, and then we will place a ruler on once more. Trim off that edge. Now just repeat that all the way around. This short edge is easy. Alright, so now we are ready for some binding.